Voice of Influencers.
The internship at Adobe. A lot of influencers are using products of Adobe to create their content.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell us about Adobe? Are they still evolving their products?
In the time I was at Adobe, one of the biggest themes was the fact that Adobe was, receiving a lot of kind of piracy. So everyone was downloading a version of Adobe, and especially Photoshop. And I was in the team that helped launch Photoshop.com for mobile. So there was a lot of knowledge around this. But back in the day when I was there, they weren't doing too well actually. Their stock was down. So what they decided to do was they acquired a lot of businesses, especially on the data front. So they acquired Demdex, they acquired Omniture. Right now it's one of the biggest competitors of Google Analytics. But one of the kind of the key themes that always came back was the fact that, all of these programs were beautiful and they were used by almost all of them, creative people anywhere around the globe. But everyone was not paying for the service, which is a huge problem. And then the cloud came up. And then this genius at Adobe decided to bring the products to the cloud. So people could use the product from the cloud, but what they did need was a license to be able to use the product. So instead of having people download Adobe into their machine, they could use it from their web browser or from their mobile phone, given the fact that they had an actual license. So all of a sudden people needed to start paying for the service, which is quite interesting because that helped their stock explode, right? And they actually combated kind of the privacy problem by just taking away the entire kind of download Adobe Photoshop into your machine, or download InDesign into your machine. You just now use it online, but you're paying for it at a much smaller fee than the $1,000 license that they were charging back then. I think that was one of the key kind of themes that came back all of the time.
Follow the Moti on Instagram, Facebook, and Snapchat.